Paul, I think we saw all 33 players training this morning, taking part. Is that correct? Is everybody going well, going good to go for the weekend?
Yeah, everyone's going well. There's a few guys still, I suppose, finishing their rehab, and they won't be involved at the weekend. But yeah, by and large, we're close to a full bill of health.
Is that Dan? Who won't be involved for the weekend?
Dan and Jack Conan. David Kilcoyne as well is struggling a little bit, but should be okay next week.
Okay. Where are you on the debate about selection? We're all trying to figure out, is Andy going to go full strength the first week? Just what are the factors that are being mulled over in terms of week to week? Who plays and who doesn't play? Is there anything you can stand on?
Just game time, really. Game time, and I suppose there's some players that needed game time from the end of last year as well. Some guys that maybe picked up knocks during pre-season as well and probably didn't get as much running as other guys. We kind of trained 2 days a week, and they were generally pretty high intensity. There was a decent level of contact in them. So, if you were involved in a lot of those training sessions, you got a lot of very rugby specific fitness into your legs. If you missed a few of those, you're behind a little bit. So that's all it is. It's just about getting guys game time, really.
Johnny at the weekend talked about the World Cup experience in the coaching team in terms of people who were involved in the coaching side, and he mentioned you with your own playing experience. Are you bringing any of that, any lessons learned or any past experiences that you're putting into play in how you're preparing for this tournament?
A little bit. I think a lot of it has been put into play already by, the management and the S&C. I mean, I suppose one of my experiences would have been in 2007 being overtrained, I think a little bit, overtrained and probably got the hotel wrong, got the food wrong a little bit, and fueling is such a big part of preparation. So that's a big part of it. Your temptation is as a player is to train as hard as you can, but you need to leave something in the tank a little bit as well, and your temptation as a coach is the same. I would say it's a big strength of Andy's and Jason Cowman is managing that and having good feel for where the players are at in terms of their training load. I suppose we know a lot now from a GPS point of view. That's a really good guide for us to be able to know where we are training wise relative to where we have been before in terms of the meters, the levels of contact we have, and that. So that's been a great guide. The other thing is, sometimes you feel like you come to a World Cup and you need to reinvent the wheel a little bit. I think we want to evolve and get better for sure, but it's not about reinventing anything. And those are my two lessons. And I think Andy, even though he probably wasn't involved with Ireland, would have had similar experiences and would be trying to put a similar strategy in place.
Compared to your experience in 07, for example, Paul, is this the best environment you feel for players going into a World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's been brilliant. It's been a brilliant pre-season. I mean, I suppose we weren't successful in my time at World Cups, but I enjoyed them all. I think 07 was tough because there was a real visible dip in performance during the competition, but every other tournament was really enjoyable. I must say I loved them immensely. Loved the training, loved the build-up, loved being with the lads. So I think we have real continuity here with the lads in terms of how we play, in terms of selection, in terms of them knowing each other and knowing what each other are about and knowing how to enjoy themselves and switch off. That's probably one of the most enjoyable things about the tour in New Zealand. Even though we took on those 2 extra games and we had a tough start, I think the players were enjoying it immensely because I think a part of that was maybe how the coaches ran it, but a lot of it was because they were able to take a hold of it themselves and know how to work hard and know how to enjoy themselves as well, know how to enjoy each other's company. And we haven't strayed far from that kind of formula that we've had in the last few years in terms of how we run the working week.
The lineup probably didn't function as well as it used to during the warm-up games. Did that really frustrate you, and are you confident it will come together on starting this weekend?
Yeah, look, it's always frustrating, and you know, it's probably a combination of things. I would have had that experience as a player. You know, you lose a few lineouts from a few different things, and it looks like there's something wrong. I think, you know, in that Samoa game in the first half, we just, you know, it was a beautiful throw from Tom Stewart at the start, and we drop a cold, and that was tough on him. We got one call wrong, which we got a call wrong as well in the England game, which is, you know, should never happen to us. I suppose a little bit of that is to do with the preparation and the build-up and people being in and out, but it is frustrating. It's more frustrating for the players themselves, I think, as well, because they want to look after the hookers every time they play. Particularly Tom Stewart last week when we were playing against Samoa. You know, Hendy wanted to look after him, so a few of those were frustrating. But we haven't made any major changes. We just need to make some better decisions when we're in there.
Paul, we had Joe McCarthy in yesterday. Lots of very good things to say about you. What are you seeing in Joe that's impressing you?
He's a big boy anyway, for sure, which is great. And just great enthusiasm, great energy to, you know, he's a bit of a keynote, which is, I think as a coach, you love to see. You don't have to tell him anything twice, and then he's trying to figure things out himself. There's nothing better than players that are trying to figure things out themselves, you know, that aren't waiting to be coached all the time. He's got some real strong attributes to his game. You know, he's excellent. He's an excellent line-out jumper, but he's an excellent line-out defender as well, in terms of in the air, but also in the seam, also defending mauls, excellent ball carrier, great leg drive in his carry, working really hard in his tackle. He was caught offside. I think it was in the England game, but it was he made a fantastic low chop tackle, which is great to see in a tall man. You know, John Fogarty loves him in the scrum. He's a big boy, and he's very good on the tight head side. So he's a fantastic player, and like a lot of these guys, you know, a lot of very good coaching gone into him from a young age. So he's a lot further down the track than your average. You know, when he first comes in at 21 or 22, he's a lot further down the track. So I think, and as I said, his enthusiasm is great. It's a real joy to behold. So he's going great for us.
Right. Can I just ask you mentioned Dave might be grand for next weekend. Are the other two lads in the same boat?
Yeah. At the moment, anyway. Yeah.
Okay, and just final question. Paul, what are your memories of World Cup games against Romania, given that you played in two of them, and given your experience, what can you give to this Ireland squad?
Yeah. The first World Cup was, I think Keith Wood had a great game. It shows how old I am. I think he scored a fantastic try. We left our beautiful base in Terrigal, which some of you might have been in, down on the coast near Sydney, to go to the game, and I think we played them. I can't remember where we played them in London. I think there was a massive crowd at it, from what I remember. Wembley, was it Wembley? Yeah. And it was a massive crowd, and we were, you know, I thought that was a fantastic World Cup. I really enjoyed it. You know, I really enjoyed Joe's coaching and Joe's way of doing things. It's a shame I got injured. A few of us got injured, and we lost a few weeks later. But yeah, it's always been tough games, very enjoyable games. You know, we haven't prepared for this game anything differently to what we prepare for any other game. You know, the only thing is we've more familiarity when we play Wales. You know, it's a continuation of the story from the last time we played them. You know, we're seeing what have they changed from the last time we analysed them. The players know them really well because they're playing them every week as individuals, so they're bringing their own information, and it's like a continuation of a story. Same with the other Tier 1 nations. It changes a little bit. This week there's a little bit of learning for us, and the players have been really diligent in going about that. I suppose it's kind of a leftover from previous eras. The players are really good at going about learning their opposition, so there's been no change in how we've prepared, and hopefully that comes out on the field on Saturday.